Hi everyone. Welcome back to episode 12 of A Sky Full of Stars, where we're still in the past looking at when Akito first met Hikari. And this was when he just transferred to this elementary school where Hikari attends. So we learned from episode 11 that Akito doesn't get along with other people very well and likes to be quiet, and he thinks to himself that he may end up transferring again. But he also brings this telescope which catches the attention of many students, especially Hikari, because Hikari wanted a telescope, but her parents wouldn't buy her one. Also in episode 11, on this day, Akito and Hikari are late for class because Takeichi played a prank on Akito by hiding his school shoes somewhere. And Hikari offered to help Akito find his shoes. Well, I have a feeling that Hikari is trying to do Akito a favor so that he can share his telescope with her. But anyways, we have this new student, and let's see what happens next. Just like I had done 1 month earlier. Okay, so she became a new student 1 month after Akito. But this time, the mood was totally different. So unlike me, with my wet pants and a missing shoe, she stood tall, in clean clothes, staring at everyone with a kind of primness about her. So, if you remember when, on Akito's first day of school at this place, he helped Hikari save a dog that was stuck in the middle of the river, and in doing so, he got his clothes dirty and he lost a shoe. And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. At least I saved the dog, and that was what was important." Then, when he went to class, he kind of gave a pretty bad first impression on the students. But for this person, she's giving a pretty nice and elegant impression on the students, so the students are kind of excited. But most of all, so what's with the sunglasses inside the building? She was exactly what everyone had imagined when they'd heard the words transfer student from the big city. So I think she's actually all cool, stylish, the typical attitude that you get in a big city. So what else? The classroom was all abuzz. So everyone's like, "Oh, cool, we got a new student. This one's interesting. From the city, all stylish, all cool. Maybe there's a lot of things that she could share with us." Even Takeichi stared intently, completely starstruck by the sight. Okay, so she looks like a supermodel. That's spelled wrong, not M-O-D-U-L, it's M-O-D-E-L. So what does that even mean? Okay, so Hikari's using words that she doesn't understand. I guess that she was trying to say supermodel. But for Hikari, it probably had the same vague familiarity as king or assassin. So Hikari's not really good at using words, and it was confusing, and I think it was pronounced the same, but it was wrong. So but anyways, it looks like Akito knows that Hikari's trying to refer to the word supermodel. I don't know about a model, but her clothes, well, especially those glasses, were nice. Her posture was good. That's important. And she certainly drew attention. Obviously. I ended up staring through the gap as well. Okay, so while everyone is paying attention to the new transfer student, it looks like Hikari and Akito are going to try to get into the seats without creating attention. So as soon as she said it, Hikari dropped down on all fours and slipped into the classroom. So did she make it? Hey! Okay, that's not a good note to make. So with no other choice, I followed after. So I wonder if anyone else noticed that they were sneaking in after the tardy bell. Okay, so they made it. So everyone was paying attention to this new supermodel-like person, and it gave them an opening to be in the seats without the teacher or the class noticing that they're late. Because obviously, they may end up having to do things after school. Wash tables, the such that I've already explained about. I looked at the new girl through the gap in the desks as I crawled along. So Akito's not in the seat yet. For some reason, she made me nervous. Well, maybe it was because I was a transfer just like her. I knew it would be a huge deal here in the shrinking Mikazuki village for 2 kids in a row to transfer in like this. So it probably also had something to do with her unusual fashion. Her flashy city style really didn't match the old wooden classroom. Too modern for the class. But what I really couldn't stop staring at was the face behind those sunglasses. With part of her face hidden like that, everyone in class was probably imagining she was some great beauty. That was all just because sunglasses had a feeling of maturity, something unsuited for kids, and it created an air of mystery about her. Okay, so she finally speaks. So the new girl said with a touch of arrogance, "Hello?" "Whoa!" sound through the classroom. Like everyone was shocked, she spoke in the same language as they did. My name is... Okay, so the teacher gave away her name. So she's like, Saya, before we continue. So Saotome interrupted her introduction. Okay, so she finally tells him, okay, you know, wearing sunglasses is not polite in the classroom, so take it off inside. So what's wrong? So suddenly timid, the new girl started to protest, but Saotome-san, or sensei, just stared silently. So silently. The new girl looked down in embarrassment. She clearly did not want to take off her sunglasses. And then... Okay, so Takeichi had to basically blow the covers off of Hikari and Akito. Well, that's obvious for a bully, because he wants to tattletale and watch as these two get in trouble. Just as Hikari was about to reach her seat, Takeichi noticed her and called her out in a mocking voice. Hey teacher! Someone's late! So now the teacher notices who's late. I don't think she's gonna care, cause if you're late, you're late. Everything else is not relevant. So for a moment, the spell had been lifted from the classroom and everyone was suddenly staring at us, as rowdy as ever. Okay, so she's giving them a chance to explain why they were late. So let's see if the teacher is going to accept that excuse. So the typical, that wasn't me. He just lost himself. He was quite irresponsible. And obviously, putting up a fight is never a good way to solve anything. So Sorami-kun, why were you late? Well, I think Hikari did explain it, but I think Miharu wants to hear what Akito has to say himself. And being the really quiet solitude type, it's gonna be hard for him to speak up one word. So I stared at the new girl, not aware I was being called on in all the noise of the classroom. I stared because she had taken off her sunglasses. So soon everyone was staring at her just like me. So our tiredness forgotten, the whole class focused their eyes on the same point. So it looks like they kind of changed subjects again, and everyone just started to wonder what Akito was looking at. And when they were able to see who this person is without her sunglasses, that kind of dominated their focus and attention. Okay, so One noticing feature is the eyes.
何あの目。
So what's wrong with her eyes?
色が違う。
So the eyes she had hidden behind those sunglasses were two different colors. So her left eye was deep blue and the right was an orange tinged with yellow. So unlike earlier, now everyone was speaking in low voice, unwilling to break the quiet as they turned their inquisitive eyes on her. She sniffed once and ran her hair behind her ears as if to shake off all those rude stares.
天の川、さやです。
So my name is Saya Amanagawa. So those two different color eyes, that's actually real. It's not that she's wearing contacts, color contacts or anything. Unlike Kabato in Haganai, I don't have many friends. So she introduces herself, but I'm sure no one actually heard her.
天の川さんは都会での暮らしが長く。
Okay, so going back on the topic of introducing Saya. So while the teacher gave the usual "everyone be sure to be nice" line, I continued to stare dumbfounded. Well, I knew I shouldn't, but no one was stopping me, so I did not stop. So the new girl looked at me with doubt in her eyes. So what's wrong? Is there anything that you noticed about me? They look like Albireo. So he's talking about some kind of constellation that he remembers. So Hikari and Saya are both thinking, what is that? Your eyes look just like Albireo. So the new girl opened her multicolored eyes wide in surprise. I wonder if she knows what that is. At the next moment, tears started to swell up. I don't think she took that very friendly. Or maybe he was trying to make fun of her multicolored eyes. Those blue and orange eyes seemed to sink into sorrow as teardrops like jewels flowed down her cheeks. And at last, so she thinks that Akito's making fun of her multicolored eyes by saying, "Oh, look, it looks like this. Ha ha ha." The new girl's face went completely red as she began weeping.
天の川さん?
So I wonder what the class is going to feel about Akito. Maybe he's the new bully. So Satami Sensei was thrown off by this unexpected turn of events. So sobbing loudly, the new girl stumbled out of the classroom. Uh-oh. Not good. So I wonder what they're going to do to Akito now. Hey, look! You insulted her. You made her cry.
し自習しててちょうだい。教室から出ちゃダメよ。
But Miharu, the teacher, is going to go and help Saya out. So leaving us with those words, the teacher hurried after her. I stood completely bewildered in the clamor of the classroom, not sure what I've done wrong. That day, no matter how hard the teacher tried to calm her down to comfort her, the new girl never came back to the classroom. So she stayed in the infamy all day, not leaving until school was over. So I spun through the air and fell to the ground, where I sat staring up at Takeichi. So now the bully Takeichi has one reason to actually beat Akito up. I didn't answer, just stood up and started picking up my stuff. So one of Takeichi's goons started to take my stuff, including the case containing my telescope. Hey, what are you doing? So without thinking, I went flying at him and reached to grab my case. I think it's like this telescope is doing you no good, so why not abandon it and forget about all that silly astronomy stuff? Because it poisoned your mind and it got you thinking in really strange and unusual ways that you literally insulted the new transfer student, Saya. Well, give it back anyways. So they think that I'm using this to show that I am super duper excellent at astronomy. I'm better than the rest of the class. And he doesn't even share it, and now it's used against him. He said, waving the case around. So I wonder if Takeichi's gonna break it. So Takeichi acted like he was going to throw the case. But I didn't buy it. I knew he didn't have the guts. So he looked at me and chuckled his tongue. Well, at least he does have a heart. He tells Akito that he has to apologize what he said to her the next day at school. Well, there were times that bullies will actually break the equipment, and then that's when they actually feel sorry, because then the parents would have to pay for a replacement. So they usually rely on the fact that the victim, they're too quiet, they're too shy, they're too scared to report the bully and get him in trouble. So who's coming now? From out of nowhere, someone appeared and drop kicked one of Takei's minions. There's only one person it could be.
Hikari?
Yep, it's her again. So what are you doing here? So I think Hikari knows what Akito's intents were, because when he mentioned that statement, he wasn't saying it in a very demeaning or comical tone. And I think it was misinterpreted, which that's the case. But he made her cry. Yeah, that's right. But you do have to consider that these kids are still in elementary school, so it's probably hard for them to tell whether or not it's a comment or an insult. And it's really hard to tell or decipher what the tone of the person is trying to say. But then again, you can't really get a bully to apologize, because obviously he still thinks that he's right. But that does not impress Hikari in any way. So I wonder if Hikari actually threw Takeichi to the side. But then again, Hikari's upset about what happened in the beginning of the day when Takeichi hid Akito's shoes, and it resulted in Hikari and Akito having to waste time looking for Akito's shoes and inadvertently get them late for class. So Hikari's rolling Sobak kick hit Takeichi square in his backpack and he fell forward. So the impact knocked the case he held to the ground. Well, hopefully it didn't break the telescope. So Hikari kept her combo going. I guess now Hikari's all enraged. It looks like she's gonna unleash her all-out attack on Takeichi. So she grabbed Takeichi's feet and spun him around with all her might. It was a giant swing, a really serious move. I wonder if Takeichi's scared of Hikari now. So his underlings are like, Take! Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. So Hikari was trying to unleash her all-out attack on Takeichi, and now she's getting dizzy, and she's pretty much going to lose in this battle. Just as Takeichi had feared, his feet slipped from Hikari's grip. Well, luckily, I guess, she hadn't been swinging him with much force, and they both just tumbled to the ground. Well, I wasn't really sure what she had been trying to do. So I wonder how much impact Takeichi got. Okay, so he'll retreat for now. You'll pay for this. You'll live to regret this. Takeichi ran away, wobbling to and fro from dizziness. So I think Hikari spun Takeichi around until he got dizzy, and now he's pretty much given up. For now. But as a result, Hikari is also dizzy. So I helped Hikari up. Thanks. I do appreciate it. It was nothing at all. So Hikari, probably still dizzy, flexed to show off her muscles and grinned. No, not that. Well, I was happy that you were able to force them to give my telescope back.
What?
Oh, actually, it's, thank you for realizing I wasn't teasing the new girl. I said, averting my gaze in embarrassment. So Hikari nodded in understanding and picked up the telescope case off the ground. And she swatted the dust off of it. And then... Okay, so the dog is here. The same dog that Akito saved before. Oh, look! It's, Pooch. Is this the puppy from before? Yep. So how are you doing, Pooch? So Hikari patted his head and gave him some bread left over from lunch. She said something about eating all her dinner before, but she's probably been saying or saving him some of her meals. So, did you name him Pooch? Okay. So aren't you keeping him? Okay, so we live in a place where pets are not allowed. So how about you keep him instead? I can't. So I wonder if Akito also lives in a place where they don't accept pets. So what's wrong with the old owner, or they couldn't find that person? Hikari said, deep in thought. So I don't think they know who the original owner is. So they're just gonna have to keep this dog for a while.
どうしたの、空見くん。
So I wonder if Akito notices something else. No, nothing. After starting to feel a strange empathy for this discard puppy, I rush to keep up my cool exterior. I couldn't risk weakness like that. Hikari stood up and turned to me, pulling herself together.
ねえ、アルビレオ見たことあるの？
Okay, so now Hikari's kind of interested about what Aki just mentioned about Sai's eyes looking like the constellation Albireo. Yeah, oh sure. So was it pretty? Yeah, it was. I answered Hikari's enthusiastic prodding grudgingly.
いいなあ、私も見てみたいな。
And yes, once again, she still wants to be able to use Akito's telescope. She muttered under her breath.
綺麗だったよね、あの子の目。空見くんがアルビレオみたいって言った時、私すぐピンときたよ。
So I think Hikari has the sense that constellations look really beautiful in the sky. And when he used that to comment about Sai's eyes, it was a compliment.
あ、そうだ、いいこと思いついた。
So Hikari clapped her hands.
見せてあげたらいいんじゃない？あの子にも。この望遠鏡でさ。
So maybe that's a good place for you to share your telescope with her.
そしたら私も見られるし、一石二鳥ってやつだね。うしし。
And once again, Hikari mentions that she really wants to be able to use Akito's telescope. She added this last line with a sly look.
きっと意地悪で言ったんじゃないって分かってくれるよ。明暗でしょ？
Yeah, I guess.
どうしたの？
So what's wrong then? Because for some reason, Akito still doesn't want to share his telescope.
なんで？
So why? Oh, it's broken. Okay, so it really didn't make any difference if Takeichi just picked it up and tossed it around, using it as a way to taunt Akito.
そうなの？は、もしかしてさっきので壊れちゃった？
So Hikari thinks that Take or Takeichi broke it as part of his pranks. Hikari rushed to open the case and examined the telescope. So outside looked fine. Well, the case is cushioned, so it absorbs impacts. This kind of stuff was no problem.
どこも大丈夫そうだよ。
So it's hard to tell what's wrong. Maybe the lens is cracked, maybe it's out of focus. Like what the Hubble telescope was. The Hubble Space Telescope was when it first launched into space. So Hikari looked into the telescope. So she looked at the nearby woods and the far-off mountains, tilting her head.
何これ？ぼやっとしてて全然見えないよ。
So I think it is out of focus.
それに景色が逆さま向いてるみたい。
And out of adjustment, and the lens is probably messed up. So now do you see? I took the telescope from her hands and put it back in the case. even I wanted to show her, I can't. So I just let it go.
ちょっと
Hey, wait a minute. So I wonder what's going to happen next. So this is actually a good place to stop for now. So we're going to see if Akito is going to get the telescope fixed, because it looks like it has the same problem that the Hubble Space Telescope did when it first launched into space. And being a really, really expensive project, it kind of upset a lot of people because the lenses were out of focus. So as a result, they had to bring corrective equipment and install some extra equipment to help fix the telescope. So the problem was that the mirrors, they were not polished or shaped to the correct curvature, or probably the surface was not smooth enough. But either way, they couldn't get good images for a very expensive telescope. So as a result, they had to fix the telescope. It was brand new as well, and now it works. So I wonder how Akito's going to get this telescope fixed so that Hikari and maybe Saya could enjoy it. So I'll leave that to next episode.